So it's Saturday the 3rd of August. We're in Archerfield Wetlands. Fine, there's no wind, so I think it's going to be pretty much ideal conditions for seeing and hearing things. So we'll get going, eh? So we're just having a bit of a walk through the entrance here. Okay, noisy miter just flew over there into the fig tree. You can hear a lot of rainbow lorikeets. Now we've got a Lewins rail just on the roadway up here on the track. Sorry, a buff banded rail. There's two of them. You might see them walking across just on the track here. Buff banded rails. I'll put a photograph of those up. Lots of rainbow lorikeets flying over. Now some of these lorikeets could be scaly breasted lorikeets. Lewins honeyeater, that rifling call. Eastern whipbird over there, that whip sound. Teresian crow flying overhead. You can hear them there. Hoping to see a couple of species of finch along here, probably the chestnut-breasted manakins and double-barred finches, but we'll see how we go. There's a couple of small birds flying around over here. We'll try and get a closer look. So there's something just down here flying around, something small. It could be fairy wrens, but we'll get closer. Stake red-browed finches. Just on a closer look, you might be able to see them here. There's one on the gravel right in front of us there. You hear that scarlet honeyeater up there too, that seesaw. Red-browed finches, beautiful, flying over now. Red-browed finches sitting on the wire. Just confirming yellow-faced honeyeater at the top there. Check up that yellow-faced honeyeater. So we've got a noisy frybird over here. My apologies, we've got a yellow-faced honeyeater over here. Check up. Yellow-faced honeyeaters. They're not a very big bird. They're quite a small bird, but they've got a very big call. That one there, yellow-faced honeyeater. Scarlet honeyeater, that seesaw. Scarlet honeyeater. Yellow-faced honeyeaters. So yeah, just moving down here along the track a bit. Yellow-faced honeyeaters to the right. Check up. Quite a beautiful spot. A little bit of sun poking its head up now. Small birds take a bit longer to warm up. We've got a superb fairy wren just here near the fence line, a male, and there's some females flying around. They could be young males or females on the wire. We'll just try and get a bit of a closer look, but just on the a very high metallic trill, high pitched metallic trill is typical of fairy wren calls. Again, habitat's a big thing if you can hear them through the grassy areas. You're more likely going to see like drier grassy areas in paddocks and things like that. You're going to more likely see roadside verges, red-backed fairy wrens, but these guys here are superb fairy wrens. This is where that male fairy, there's a superb fairy wren in the eucalypt tree there, just low down branch. Probably hear that tink tink tink. That was an eastern whipbird. That chewy at the end of the call, that is the female calling back. So it's actually two different birds. That's the male, that whip, and if you hear a chewy at the end, that's the female. A lot of people don't know that. There's the male eastern whipbird again, that whip. So the female will go chewy at the end of, she'll answer the call back, respond to the male's call. Plane coming overhead. So here we've got a brown honeyeater, that chick click 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 sound. The call's coming from this eucalypt tree here. Quite a loud call. The bird's actually near the top there. Just here in the flowering eucalypt there. And over here too. So brown honeyeater. So I thought I just heard the call of a whistler through here. That's the scarlet honeyeater, the seesaw. But I thought I heard a fluid whistle. Now I can hear silver eyes through here. They love these. There's a bit of lantana growing through here, so this is through here. So even though it's an invasive weed, it's good structural element in these landscapes for small birds. They love it. That's the yellow-faced honeyeater. And a lot of the silver eyes and Lewin's honeyeater will eat the berries from this lantana. When they're fruiting. Rainbow lorikeet. Scalies have got a scaly-breasted lorikeets have got a kind of a I guess it's like a higher pitched call, similar. Okay, over that way, right here, we've got a scarlet honeyeater. Scarlet honeyeater right here on the end of this branch. It's a male, beautiful red head on it, vibrant red. Hopefully you can see that. So we've got a little female red-backed fairy wren just through here. just drop down into the grassland there. Quite camouflaged. Redback fairy wren female, so very plain looking, no colouring. Slightly shorter tail than the superbs. Grassy areas, typical of what they like. So redback fairy wren. That's probably what we saw through here. We might have seen the male because I did see black. I'll put a photo up. Okay, we'll just come into this little area here. I can hear silver eyes. There's a lot of birds flying around through here. I've got a grey fantail over there. We've got a lot of silver eyes. All that warbly, whistly sort of calling is coming from silver eyes, and they're all in the lantana over there. All silver eyes. All that silver eyes. I'm just going to see if I can walk in a bit closer. Hear all that? Silver eyes. So we'll just walk around this lantana a bit. So yeah, a lot of silver eyes moving through here. They've moved on now, I think, but I'll just move through feeding. You still hear them actually. They've got like a sort of a wobbly whistle. That's the fairy wren, that very high-pitched metallic trill. So we've got a mistletoe here. Looks dead, and might be another small one to the right of it here, but mistletoe is spread around by a little bird called a mistletoe bird, believe it or not, a mistletoe bird. And they'll eat the seed of the mistletoe, they'll defecate on a branch, and that seed will germinate. They're quite an important part of the ecological system, these mistletoes, for food source, and they provide microhabitats for a lot of little insects, and possums love them. So we're just walking along the track here further in. It's always a good idea too to try and walk on grass if you can. That way you're not making a lot of noise. When you're bird watching or birding or whatever you're doing, it's better to walk fairly sure-footed and just tread carefully. Just make as less noise as you can when you walk. Grey fantails, just in the sun there with the silhouette, but silver eyes and the grey fantail just up here, that very high pitch mip 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 mip. Grey fantail, chip chip chip. So you've got grey fantails in here, there's one on the branch just there, very high pitch chip chip chip. And you've got silver eyes also feeding on the flowers. And that chip 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 is a grey fantail. They've actually got one of the highest pitch calls of all birds, very high pitched when they do it. Yellow-faced honeyeater, chick up. The wobbly whistle is the silver eye. The high-pitched chip 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 is the grey fantail. Right there is a rufous whistler, right there on the branch, just flying across, just on the branch right there. Rufous whistler. And you can see that. I'll put a photo up. There's a bit of interest in that bit of mistletoe there, in that mistletoe. And surprisingly or not, that's a mistletoe bird right next to the mistletoe. You can see it through the binoculars, so where you've got that mistletoe there, directly to the right, there's a tiny little bird next to the mistletoe. A mistletoe bird. It's a female, it's a dull colour, dull plumage. They have a red vent, typically a black, dark coloured back on them. So yeah, mistletoe bird. Pacific black duck flying overhead. Okay, male superb fairy wren right there. Let's go. Just on the branch here. We've also got a redback fairy wren male on the same tree right here. Beautiful redback fairy wren. A double-barred finch right here. It's a beautiful little group of birds here. Double-barred finch. So we've literally got here now a variegated fairy wren male. We've got superb fairy wren male over there, flash of blue. Redback fairy wren through here. And there's the male superb fairy wren through there. Now you can hear that nasally call coming from the double-barred finch over there. A grey fantail here on the fence. See if we can get a bit closer. So we've got a grey fantail right here on the wire. Keeps flying back and forth. They like to, they can get pretty close. Obviously when you walk along you stir things up, but so scarlet honeyeater just up here. And brown honeyeater just up on the branch here. See if we can get a photo. A lot of brown honeyeaters you can hear at the moment, and there's one still flying around in this tree here that we're quite close to, just where I'm pointing, straight through there. That's a scaly-breasted lorikeets flying over there, high-pitched. So brown honeyeater just there. So there's something just over here. Could be a white-faced heron flying over there. Colloquially known as a pterodactyl. Very slow moving wing beats, kinked back neck. There is something just here, and there's something walking around out there too. Purple swamp hen just out past that wire fence. So they're moving through. just walked into the grass there. So there's golden-headed sisticler through here. Hear that buzzing sound over here? It's very insect-like. Sometimes they have a little plonk in the end of it. Zzz, plonk. That's a golden-headed sisticler. There's a golden-headed sisticler. Golden-headed sisticler right there on the grass, just here. Golden-headed sisticler. See if we can get a nice close shot. We have golden-headed sisticler right there. Now that's that insect-like buzzing sound with that plonk on the end of it. Just up there on the ridge. Just see if I can get a photo. So we've just seen the golden-headed sisticler through there. I'm glad we got a good view of that bird, because sometimes they're a bit hard to see. The males in breeding season have a beautiful flight. They do. They fly up in the air and dive bomb down. So golden-headed sisticler, they've got that buzzing insect-like call with the clonk on the end of it. So I've just come across this this nest that was on the ground here. It's obviously been blown off, but one of the finch species. It'd sit in the tree like that. It's the entrance. Back up in the tree. So we've got the Australian kookaburra sitting up there at the bottom of the gum tree, and what you can hear also there is Australian fig bird plane flying overhead. Scratchy sound as an Australian fig bird. That one. Australian fig bird. Yeah, that sort of scratchy whistling and carrying on is just the Australian fig bird. That Australian fig bird. That. So get familiar with that call. I can hear the bird, I can't actually see the bird at the moment. So right at the top there's the male Australian fig bird. You can hear the call now. A chip chow, just flying over that way. Lewin's honey eater, that rifling sound. So we've got a male red-backed fairy wren just here. See if I can get close. Just flying over the back there. Sulphur-crested cockatoo just up on the tree there. Grey butcher bird over there, that's scratchy. That was a grey shrike thrush, that grey shrike thrush. So we've seen this guy, we haven't seen the chestnut-breasted manakins yet, but I'm hoping to. But we've seen the double-barred finch, the red-browed finch, Teresian crows and the flying overhead there. Australian magpie. So we're just down by the creek here. Lewin's honeyeater, the rifling sound. Scarlet honeyeaters. Scarlet honeyeaters. Striated pardalote. Plonk, 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 plonk in the background. Grey shrike thrush. And there's something fluttering down here. Could be high-pitched metallic. Ooh, that buzzing sound sounds like a white-browed scrub wren. Grey shrike thrush. There are white-browed scrub wrens through here. I'll put a photo up. We're just going to wrap up the walk here in Archerfield Wetlands. There is a Australian fig bird up in this tree. That cool. A lot of scarlet honeyeaters too. I'm going to start winding up. That's the Australian fig bird. I did see and hear white-browed scrub wren through all this lantana here. But they move along the riparian zone, so we might have missed them. But I did see the white-browed scrub wren come through and hear it. It's got an incessant sort of scolding, buzzing sound. So I really hope we can get that in the next few walks, just so you can become familiar with these calls. Remember to come out on a walk if you can. Look at the Facebook page, Up with the Birds, hiking. Yeah, so we'll head back. Hopefully we can throw a couple more things up if we see them along the way, but thanks for coming along. Here's a woolly wagtail here, a cousin of the grey fantail. They're a very popular familiar bird around Brisbane. So we've got an intermediate egret right here, and I know that because not an obvious kink in the neck, but the gape line behind the bill doesn't extend beyond the eye. That's one good way of telling the intermediate egret here from the great egret. Spangled drongo. On the fence here we have a male superb fairy wren. Beautiful vibrant blue. Been watching those most of the morning fly through. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Hear a fantail cuckoo in the background, fan-tailed cuckoo, that downward trill. Bar-shouldered dove in the background. We've heard that quite a bit of the way. It's or some people say it sounds a bit like Bob Hawk, Bob Hawk, Bob Hawk, Bob Hawk, Bob Hawk, Bob Hawk. There's something down here in near the creek. Silver eyes. That's the fantail cuckoo you can hear in the background. These guys are silver eyes. Having a little bit of a drink, bit of a bath. And I think there's actually red-browed finch down there too. I can see red. So that could be redback fairy wren, yep. Red-browed finch. All having a drink with the silver eyes. So silver eyes and red-browed finch. Having a bit of a drink, a bit of a swim. That's a yellow-faced honeyeater in the background. Check up, check up, check up. So get familiar with the calls. So thanks for joining us today at Archerfield Wetlands. It's been a good morning. I put any of the birds we saw or heard up, some photographs. Get used to the calls, come along on some of the walks if you can. Up in the birds' hikes. So hopefully see you on a walk, or keep watching the videos, get used to the calls. Just up here, grey butcherbird. But yeah, thanks for coming, and it's been a nice day. We'll see you on the next one.